Who were the Aztecs? The Aztecs, also known as the Tanaka or the Mexica, were a civilization in northern Mexico that had power and presence in the region from the 13th century through the Spanish colonization. Over the centuries, they developed a highly structured and well-organized empire with social, political, religious, military, and economic institutions. They had a social hierarchy with a form of lords or nobles at the top and then serfs, indentured servants, and even enslaved workers at the bottom. The Aztecs were based in their capital city of Tenochtitlan, now known as Mexico City. They eventually took control of neighboring city-states in the region using their vast resources and military prowess. They spoke a language called Nahuatl, and people see the influence and importance of their culture today. 1 million people still use the language, and the modern country of Mexico takes its name from this once powerful society. In addition to these social and political structures, they also had a highly refined artistic and intellectual empire, with artwork and scientific advances being well known in the modern era. Pictured in a modern artistic rendering of the city of Tenochtitlan, the painting depicts large pyramids, temples, buildings, and wide avenues. Agriculture and central markets were the foundation of the economy of the Aztec Empire. The Aztecs had advanced agricultural practices, which included land cultivation and irrigation to grow essential crops such as corn, beans, squashes, potatoes, tomatoes, and avocados. They were also skilled hunters and fishers. These crops and the animals that hunters brought in would then be sold in markets that could receive up to 50,000 people on their busiest days. In 1519, Hernando Cortés arrived with intentions to invade and conquer the Aztec people. Despite the power and strong warrior culture of the Aztec Empire, 2 years later, in 1521, Cortés managed to take their cities with bloody force. After they were conquered, the Spanish converted the Aztecs to Christianity, sealing their fate as part of the Spanish Empire. Aztec beliefs. Like many other cultures in the pre-Columbian Americas, the Aztecs were polytheistic, and their gods and goddesses were tied to natural and human elements such as the sun, water, agriculture, war, and death. Often their gods were depicted as serpents or winged creatures. They believed that the 5 suns were created and destroyed over different periods. In the Aztec religion, life existed before humans, and civilization was built after the destruction of the 4th sun. The Aztec people used 2 calendars. One was 260 days and was used for determining the dates of rituals, and a 365-day calendar was based on the sun's movement. Aztec medicine also stemmed from religious beliefs, but observation and experimentation led to a wide range of effective treatments for various ailments. Pantheon of Aztec gods. It is difficult to say which Aztec god was the most important as they worshipped hundreds of gods, who often had overlapping meanings and responsibilities and were generally either personified or seen as animal hybrids. However, Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun and war, and the 4 brothers Quetzalcoatl, Huitzilopochtli, Tezcatlipoca, and Xipe-Totec, are considered to be the most important. It can get confusing which god is responsible for which task in the universe as many of their roles overlap. These 4 brothers are the creators and architects of life in the universe and were the offspring of Ometecutli and Omecihuatl. These Aztec gods are discussed in detail below. Quetzalcoatl is the creator of all people and the giver of wisdom, corn, and the calendar. He is depicted as a feathered snake. Scholars believe that he is the only god that did not require sacrifices. Huitzilopochtli is the god of war and the sun. He was responsible for the outcomes in battle, and people would offer him sacrifices when they would lose. As the god of the sun, he was supposed to bring order to the world and is also often depicted as a snake. Tezcatlipoca was the god of life and the creator of the first sun. All the brothers created sons, but Tezcatlipoca was the first. Because of this, he is also called the pioneer god. He is usually shown as holding an obsidian mirror with which he observes the night sky. The last of the 4 brothers is Xipe-Totec, the god of agriculture. Xipe-Totec is responsible for giving food to all people. He is often shown as a human with flayed skin, which symbolized the death of old crops and the birth of new ones. Finally, the 4 brothers represent the cardinal directions: Quetzalcoatl, east; Huitzilopochtli, south; Tezcatlipoca, west; and Xipe-Totec, north. Apart from the 4 brothers, the Aztecs also worshipped many goddesses. Mictlantecutli was one of the goddesses of the underworld, and the Aztecs celebrated her during Dia de los Muertos. Coatlicue, the mother of gods and fertility, is portrayed as a snake. Finally, following the Spanish invasion and conquest of their empire, the Aztecs converted to Christianity. There are 3 possibilities concerning why they converted. These are as follows. Firstly, it is possible that the Aztecs mistook the Spanish for gods who wanted to retake their lands. Secondly, It is considered that the Aztecs found sufficient similarities between their religion and Christianity and were able to blend the two. Thirdly, after they were conquered, they may have been forced to accept the conqueror's religion. Aztec Mythology. Aztec mythology believes in history as a sequence of 5 suns. Jaguar's sun came first and was created by sacrificing Tezcatlipoca. However, his sacrifice was insufficient. He did not make a complete sun, and giants inhabited the world. Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca began fighting, which caused the sun to fall from the sky, and Tezcatlipoca had the giants destroyed by jaguars. Next came the wind sun. Quetzalcoatl created this sun, and along with it came humans. Humans became corrupt and were turned into monkeys by Tezcatlipoca as punishment. Quetzalcoatl then destroyed the monkeys with a hurricane. After the wind sun, there was the rain sun and the creation of Tlaloc, the god of rain. Tezcatlipoca decided that he wanted Tlaloc's wife for himself and Tlaloc to become enraged and bitter. He punished the earth by causing drought, which caused a fire and then destroyed the earth. Tlaloc's sister Calquiatlicu became the next sun, known as the water sun. Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl were displeased with her, so they knocked her out of the sky. When she hit the ground, Calquiatlicu turned to water and caused a flood that ended the fourth world. Quetzalcoatl then went to the underworld trip to get all the bones of the dead. He added his blood to the bones and created a rebirth of the human race. Quetzalcoatl became the 5th and final sun, who did not destroy himself or the earth. Therefore many see Quetzalcoatl as the father of the Aztec people. In addition to the creation myth, one of the most important myths in the Aztec culture describes the founding of Tenochtitlan. According to Aztec beliefs, Huitzilopochtli instructed them to find a giant eagle eating a snake on a cactus. Archaeologists assert that this happened in the year 1325 CE.